So this is the user interface that the clerk would see. And what you're experiencing is MX Medical software is talking to that local practice's software. And we're able to pull in all of the patients who have appointments for that day. And if need be, we can also look a patient up. So let me look up a particular patient that we have in the system. So Miguel Gonzalez, as you can see here, he was born in '52. You can see that his health care insurance is covered by Blue Cross Blue Shield. His primary copay is $40 and $60 to see a specialist. He has 20% coinsurance, and you can see what he has left on his deductible, as well as what he is satisfied out of pocket. Again, we're not expecting you to understand eligibility, copays, all of those particular details of healthcare payments, but we're going to partner with you to show how to help you explain that product to your customer. You can see as you go across here, you can also add the local provider. You can put in a copay, you can put in another amount, or you could add a procedure. But to get started, let me go in and start a wallet. So you can see over here on the right-hand side, one of the powers of Priority Medical's product is the ability to have a stored wallet, and you can have, you can see here I've got a Visa card in there, but I could add ACH if I wanted to. And this is really a powerful tool when you think about getting collections from patients. And I'll show you how it works specifically. But as you can see, you can keep multiple forms of payment on file. So let's go work with Miguel and get him started. All right. So let's say Miguel didn't have a great weekend. He's having some chest pain. So he comes in to see his cardiologist, and they're going to give him a coronary bypass. He's also going to see his specialist. So we have the coronary bypass along with the copay. Now, the way that this software understands those particular codes is when we set up your client, we will load their menu. So if you've sold to restaurants, you understand what a menu is. Doctors' offices have the same sort of thing. They have a menu of services that they provide, and those things have a fee associated with it. However, what's unique about healthcare is everybody pays a different rate depending on who their particular insurance provider is. So in this example, Miguel is using Blue Cross Blue Shield, and you can see that the standard charges would be about $5,300. However, Blue Cross Blue Shield has negotiated a discount of about $2,100 and for this particular procedure. They don't make an actual payment, but they do offer a discount. And then Miguel is responsible for his $60 copay plus his insurance deductible. And again, we're not expecting you guys to understand all the intricacies of billing within a medical practice. The software will help you do that. So this is what's called an estimate. I'm going to create this estimate, and I can go up here and I can edit it. So let's see, call this. Let's call it heart for now. But if you think about it, in the real world, if for any of you who have had a procedure like you might have had your knee replaced, you might have had anything that you sort of understand before you go in. For example, if you've ever had a child or you've ever had to pay for a baby, you know when that event is going to occur. You have a sense for what things are going to be done for you. And what this software allows you to do is to load the system up and then give you, the patient, an estimate or an idea, in this case a coronary bypass, of what am I going to pay, what is my insurance going to cover, and what will I owe at the end of the day. This is something that's super hot right now in the medical field, is the ability to give people an estimate to help them understand, before they get the bill, a sense for what that bill might be. So now that I have this, Miguel's come in. Surgery was excellent. He's in great condition. We're getting ready to check him out. So I go to checkout. Now, we have multiple ways to deal with Miguel during checkout. What you're seeing here now is what's called delayed settlement. And delayed settlement is the concept that while I have an estimate in hand, I really don't know what the exact charges are going to be until I hear back from his insurance provider. And you might be saying to yourself, well, how can that be possible? Well, so Miguel could have had an experience with a different practice prior to seeing me. So maybe he had a monthly checkup, or maybe he broke his arm, or something else happened to his plan where some additional payments might have been made. My system might not know that. And so the software can wait until we hear back from his insurance company, and that's called a delayed settlement. And what that does is it allows us to say to Miguel when we're at the front desk, hey Miguel, I want to take a form of payment. I see you have a wallet on file, or I could take credit card or ACH now. I'm going to charge you a small amount, $60, your copay, and then I'm going to hold this until I hear back from your insurance provider and I know exactly how much you're supposed to pay, and then I will communicate with you to let you know, hey, I've got your what's called an explanation of benefits back in my system. And what the software does is it pings Miguel with an email and lets him know that there's been an update to this particular bill. He can come log in and see exactly what his insurance paid and what's left over. What's really nice about it is when I'm standing there at the front desk with Miguel before he leaves, and I might never see him again, I can grab this form of payment, so I've got a much better chance of getting paid in the first place. The other thing this does is it creates transparency on pricing. It creates trust with your patient. And the really nice thing is it helps you get paid faster, because if you remember in the scenario that I talked about earlier with the cardiology location, they typically send out the bill once a month. So today's February 1st. If this has occurred on February 1st, it's going to be 30 days before I even send him a potential bill, assuming that I've heard back from insurance. So that can be anywhere from, I said 15 to 30. It can be even further before some of those bills get sent out. So the other thing we can do is I can also create a payment plan. I'm gonna move him into a payment plan. Actually, let me just show you one more thing. If we choose not to use delayed settlement and I turn it off, we look to collect the entire amount at that point in time. This is configurable to the location. There's a lot of flexibility in the software. So it's up to that provider to decide how they want to interact with the software. While we're here, I'm going to put Miguel on a payment plan. One of the really nice things about this software is that it's very configurable to that particular provider. In fact, I'm sure that if you go out and talk with some of these folks, they're going to be saying, well, can you do payment plans? And how does your payment plan work? And how can I configure it? This one is highly configurable. So you can change how much you pay on your down payment. You can change how far into the future do you want your start date to be. And again, that's configurable by location. It can be 0 days, so it's got to start today, or it can be 30, 60, 90 days into the future. You can then also change how often will this individual pay, monthly, weekly, or bi-weekly is another option, and then how many installments. And again, installments are up to that particular location. The nice thing about this payment plan option is it only shows up if the patient has met the criteria to be offered a payment plan. So what that means is, for example, here, the minimum amount that you have to owe is $300 before I'll even offer you a payment plan, whereas the maximum is $10,000. And again, that's configurable by location, but it just gives you a sense for how these people can manage their entire process. We'll just take a quick credit card. I'll swipe it manually. There's really hardware requirements for this software are nominal at best. It works as a virtual terminal. You can plug in a USB. You can slide your credit card through it, and it'll take the transaction. So I take a manual. I submit it. Now what I'm doing clearly is running through the payment processing. You can see this is the receipt. I have the procedure up here, the total charges, what insurance will be, what the patient responsibility will be, and the details around the credit card. And here's the receipt for the patient. What you'll notice at the bottom is also a URL and a code, so that if Miguel goes home, he can take this piece of paper and he can log into his patient portal. So I've showed you how to create a wallet, how to build an estimate and save that estimate, and how to create a payment plan and deal with delayed settlement or pay everything up front. I want to show you now what it looks like if Miguel were to log into the patient portal. So I'm going to go over here, log into the patient portal. And actually, this particular user is a patient by the name of Judy Cott. So we're going to see her specifics. So as a patient, one of the things you have to be aware of is that when you're dealing with medical information, you deal with something called HIPAA and HIPAA compliance. And that means that you are not allowed, in most cases, to send almost any identifiable information to a patient through email or text. So we typically email the patient and say, hey, you have new information at the patient portal, please log in. So an example here is you can see that Judy has additional estimates on file. Across the top, you can see her estimates, her invoice, payments that she may have made. We also, this is something that's fairly unique. We have the ability to show a digital statement. So part of our software, should someone want it, is the ability for us to help manage both their print and digital statements, meaning we can help them put together their print statements and then work to try to convert their customers to digital statements. So much like some of you who may have phone bills or credit card bills, some of you may have opted into a digital statement instead of getting your print statement. We have the same sort of flexibility here with our software. And this is a digital reproduction of that printed statement that she would have gotten in the mail. But again, you can see that there are many other ways that Judy can interact with this. She can pay her bill. So let's see, we'll go make a payment. Let's view it. These are open invoices. And again, part of what the software is designed to do is create very clear, easy to read, understandable invoices. Most of you, again, if you look at some of your medical invoices, the ones I've seen look like they're printed in Greek sometimes. And this simply says, look, the total amount is $1,273, $975 has been paid, the remaining balance is $297. Oh, and by the way, here's what it was for, and here are transactions that have been made in the past, and you can see what insurance paid, and this is what's left over. Again, this helps patients pay because they know what they're supposed to pay for. Let me move now onto the admin portal just to show you briefly some of the back-end tools. So some of the things I talked about was you can feed information back into the system, such as delayed settlements. I can see all of my patients. I can look to see the specifics of their encounter. So he had an office visit. He paid $20. He still has $327 left. And this is just a way that the office can manually adjust this particular delayed settlement. They can also go in and adjust an estimate should they want to. I believe Judy has a couple on file. So you can see Judy Cott. Here's her estimate. We can change the differences if we find out there's other information. But you can see we can manage payment plans. We can manage scheduled payments. I didn't really go into the concept of financial assistance because that's typically, we work with big hospitals on that. But just quickly, the idea behind financial assistance is if an individual comes up to the front desk and suggests that they're unable to pay, one of the tools that this software can do is you can take them through a very quick financial assistance check, meaning you ask them 5 or 6 questions, and then based on that particular office having their Social Security number on file, we do a quick medical records check, medical credit check. Based on the information that comes back, we can identify if that person is likely to be approved for Medicaid. If they are approved for Medicaid, that's another way that the office can get paid versus having to write this off.